Hey, you guys, Keith Callahan here. And man, I'm excited. I'm excited for this call today. So I'm going to give it 1 second just to make sure we're live here, make sure that people are jumping on. If you jump on, if you're willing, just give me a comment. Make sure that I know you can hear me. I have this. This is the first time Hey, Megan. Megan, can you hear me okay? Lindsay, can you guys hear me okay? Hi, Natasha. Hi, everybody. All right, you guys can hear me. I am going to get rolling right away then. Man, I'm excited for this call. I was telling my wife last night that Lindsay sent me over the link and I was looking through and I was like, man, this feels like I'm doing a call for Beachbody, not just the Dynasty team. So I'm excited. I'm excited to share what has worked for me in the business, share a few pointers, and I'm excited for you guys. I was looking through and all the content that you like all the content that's presented over the last couple weeks to you guys, it's just everything you need to succeed has already been delivered. And if I can do anything today, I want to bring everything together and sort of put it all together and bring it all together full circle, and then really put things on your plate. Put things on your plate because now it's time for you to take action. And today I want to answer 3 questions. And I think these are the 3 most important questions that we have, the 3 most important questions that we need to answer as Beachbody coaches. And the first question is, can I do this? And it sounds like a simple question, right? But I believe that one of the biggest things that we struggle with in this business, it's not that we don't believe in ourselves. It's that we don't believe that we're actually going to take the action, that we're actually going to do, that we're going to follow through with all of the information that was just presented to us, that we're actually going to become all of the information that was just presented over the last couple of weeks. So the first question I want to answer today is, can I do this? And that question there's like 500 people in this group, right? That question isn't for everybody else, and the answer isn't for everybody else. It's for you. We're going to answer the question, can you actually do this? Because there's nothing different between you and everybody else in this group. There's nothing different between you and the leaders in the group. It's a different focus on the actions that they've been taking, right? So we're going to answer the question, can I actually do this? The second question that I want to pose and that really want to get into today is really looking at, how do we find people that are going to do this business? Like, how do we find people that actually want to work this business? That's the first question. And then the second one is, how do we get those people to take action? So if we can leave here today, and I'm going to go for like an hour, hopefully that's okay. I didn't ask Lindsay, but I want to give you guys everything that I have. I'd love to go for 4 or 5 hours, but I know you guys would tune out. So I'm going to go for like an hour, and I'm going to answer those 3 questions. Can I do this? Can I do this? And then, okay, how do I find people who are going to work this business? And then B, how do I get them to take action? How do I get them to actually start doing something? And I want to start out by sharing a story with you guys. How many of you guys know Haley Christian? So Haley's probably, I think she's like a 9 or 8, 9, somewhere just below 10-star diamond right now. How many of you guys know her? And what a lot of people know is they know the after of Haley Christian. So Haley signed up. I think she's been a coach for about 5 years now. And Haley and I connected. She signed up. And right in the beginning of her business, she shot right up to diamond. So she got to the level of diamond, and she stayed there for 3 years. Got to diamond, and stayed at Diamond for 3 years. And I'm telling you guys, she was doing the work. She was putting in the effort every single day. She was showing up every single day. She was doing her power hour. She was posting on social media. She was doing all of the work. And she was showing up, but her business wasn't growing. 3 years she was a Diamond coach. And I know that a lot of people can relate to this, and I know that it's frustrating. And here's the like crutch of it all. She believed that she was giving this business 100%. She believed that she was giving it everything that she got, and she was sort of getting to that hopeless, like desperate place where she didn't know what to do because she was putting in the work and nothing was changing, right? And I'm sure that a lot of us can relate to this. 2 years ago in January, Haley went from Diamond coach to 7-star qualifying between January and May. So she was stuck at Diamond for 3 years. And then she went from Diamond level coach to 7-star qualifying in 4 months, 5 months. Like, what changed? What was the difference? And what really happened is she shifted. That something happened in her mind. She shifted from believing that she could to knowing that she would. And so a lot of times we can jump over that. But if you're taking notes, write that down. That is a huge, like if you look at, there's so many amazing leaders on your team, so many amazing leaders that have been speaking in here. And every one of them, they made this shift from just believing, like, I can do this. Yeah, like, I can do this. And a lot of us are at that point, right? But there's a big difference between believing that you can do it and then knowing without a doubt that you're going to do this business. Like, knowing without a doubt that's going to happen for you, right? And I know that that's something that we all want, and that's what I really want to dive into. I'm going to probably touch back in a little bit on Haley's story, but I wanted to start with that because I feel like that's where so many of us are at, right? So many of us, we're sick and tired of being stuck at Diamond. We're sick and tired of being in and out of Diamond. We're sick and tired of being in and out of 1-star, in and out of 2-star, and we're ready to take that big leap in our business. So I want to just take a minute here and go through. I want to talk about how the flow of this call is going to go. So first of all, I want to talk about goals just real briefly. I know that's like a basic concept, but I just want to talk about it because I want to make a point that I believe is important. The second thing that we're going to talk about is the 2 skills that we need as Beachbody coaches, because it really is, it's only 2 skills. We don't need anything else. We just need 2 skills. And then the third piece is I want to talk about, okay, how do we actually find those people and get them to take action? So let's start with the goal setting piece. Here's what I think. You're ready for a new start. You're ready to run with this business. You're ready to go up to whatever level that you can see, that you can visualize. And what happens a lot of times is we set all these different goals. I want to be Millionaire Club. I want to be 15-star Diamond. I want to be elite coach. I want to have a business that makes $1 million a year. I want to be a 6-figure earner. What I recommend is setting one long-term goal, like a 3 to 5 year goal. So if you want to be a 15-star Diamond, or you want to have a business that makes $1 million a year that's stable, 2 different goals. If you want to be a 5-star Diamond coach, or like set a single goal. And let me give you an example of this. So when I'm mentoring coaches one-on-one, a lot of times they'll have a goal of, say, 15-star diamond. And then what happens is different things come up in their business, and now, so they have this big push goal of 15-star diamond, but then they're mentoring people way down in their business, which isn't going to get them to 15-star diamond. Or they have a goal for elite, but they're so focused on just recruiting that they're not. So they have this goal for elite, but then they want to hit Success Club 50 every month, and they never help any of their coaches. So set one overarching goal. Like, what is your goal? What is your one goal right now? And again, if you asked all the leaders on this, like that were in this group, when they made the big pushes in their business, and this is going to change. Maybe right now it's to get to 5-star diamond, then maybe it's to get to 10-star diamond, then maybe 15-star diamond. It's different for everybody. Maybe your goal isn't a rank goal. Maybe it's just to earn 6 figures. Maybe it's to make $5,000 a month. I don't know. But what I do know is that in order for you to achieve success, like in order for you to really get going in this business, you need to just set one goal, and then don't deviate from that goal. And what I think, if you're at that diamond 1-star level, I think the best goal right now, the best push goal, and this could be over the next year, you may have a goal to become 15-star diamond, but I think 5-star elite is an awesome goal because it's going to give you the foundation to a stable business. It's also going to, you like get into the cool kids club. You get into, it's called, I always mess it up. I always want to call it the wall. You get into the round table. So the round table is this private Facebook group for 5-star diamonds and above. So I don't want to spend too much time on it. Set one overarching goal and then measure your daily activities against that goal. Does that make sense? So one goal, and then make sure what you're doing on a daily basis, you're getting towards that goal. You're pushing towards that goal. Okay. Next, I want to talk about the 2 skills that are necessary to achieve success in this business. And this is just, it's super basic. Our business isn't complicated. Our business is simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. So the first skill that we need to develop is recruiting talent. The second skill that we need to develop is, or the second skill that we need to work on is developing talent. That's it. That's all we do as Beachbody coaches. We recruit talent and then we develop talent. And one of the things that I really want to share with you here, and just to get your mind really thinking in the right way, there's probably only 5 people in the entire Beachbody coaching network. They're probably all on your team, but there's only like 5 people in the entire network that are professionals at both of those things. Literally 5 people. What a lot of people are good at is recruiting talent. And then there's a handful of people that are good at developing talent. I've always been awful at recruiting and really good at developing people. If you ask the leaders on your team, a lot of people will look at Lindsay and look at her team and be like, oh my gosh, she is just so good at recruiting. And if I could only recruit like she did, and if I could only, but here's the deal. The reason that she has an organization as large as she does, and then all the other leaders within your organization, the reason all of them have large organizations, it's not because they're good at recruiting. The recruiting piece is 5% of it. Developing other leaders is the whole name of the game in this business. Developing other leaders who then go on and run their own teams, who then go on and build their own teams. So for me, it's like I have a much smaller team than this team, but we make a really good income. I've never hit higher than Success Club 17. Literally the highest Success Club I've ever hit is Success Club 17, but we have a team of over 20,000 people. And the reason for that is just because of how things, I always think of Tony Horton when I say this. I currently struggle with the recruiting piece. It's never been something that I have been good at, but I have been good at developing people. I have been good at developing leaders. And we're going to talk about the whole rest of this call is going to be about, okay, how do we actually find those people? How do we find people who want to work this business? And then how do we build them into leaders? And it's a 3-step process. So step number 1 is leading yourself. Step number 2 is positioning yourself. And then step number 3 is leading others. And so you have that goal in mind, right? Like you have that long-term goal that you want to hit in mind, whatever it is. And just for, I'm going to keep talking, but just putting it out there for the rest of the team, there's 500 something people on this call. What is your goal? Like, what's the goal that you're working towards? What's the one goal? It can be a goal over the next 6 months, over the next year. It can be a long-term goal. My goal when I first started, it took me 5 years to get there. I wanted to make $1 million a year. That was my goal, and so I built a business structured around that goal. For 5 years, that's all I focused on. What is your goal? Like, what's your one goal, right? And here's the thing. We're going to, everybody go ahead, type in, put your goal in there. What happens is, here's the next question that we want to ask. The next question is, what do I need to do to hit that goal? And we're Beachbody coaches. We're hustlers, right? Tell me what to do and I'll do it. I will outwork anybody else. I'll do whatever it is that you tell me to do. I'll put in the effort. I'll show up every single day. I will out hustle everybody else. And we're willing to do that work, right? But here's the big piece. Say your goal is to become a 5-star elite, right? Say your goal is to earn, I'm just reading these as they come in, it's to earn 6 figures. Say your goal is to become a 15-star diamond coach. 5% of that equation is tell me what I have to do. And here's the answer, right? You have to get good at finding people that want to work this business, and you have to get good at developing them. That's it. You don't have to do, that's the game plan. That's the goal. That's the path. So why is it that we're not all hitting these goals, right? All I have to do is show up. All I have to do is find people who want to do this business and then help them to do it. Here's a key piece, and you want to write this piece down. The question isn't, what do I need to do? The question really is, who do I need to become? Let me repeat that. The question isn't, tell me the things I need to do. You know that. That's simple. The real question is, who's the woman, who's the man that I have to grow into to achieve that goal, to hold that rank, to earn that income long term? And that's not easy. But I'm telling you, that is what the only thing that's standing in your way. And we're going to talk about how to do that a little bit more. We're going to talk about, we're going to dive into that a little bit deeper. But it's not what do I need to do, it's who do I need to become. And a lot of you guys, you know, and I just keep mentioning Lindsay's name because she was the one who invited me here and invited me to speak. A lot of you guys know the after of Lindsay, right? And the two of us started this business almost the exact same time. I think it was the exact same time. And I want to tell you guys just a real quick story. I remember we were out in Laguna Beach. It was my favorite place. Beachbody used to do the leadership retreats in Laguna Beach, and we were at the Marriott there, and it was just this really cool, intimate setting. And it was the first time that I got to see Lindsay speak, and she was a brand new 5-star diamond coach. I think we had both just hit 5-star diamond, and brand new, maybe doing the business for a year and a half, 2 years, I don't know. Nobody in Beachbody knows who she is. Nobody knows the business that she's about to build. And I remember watching her walk on stage, and there's two things I remember about this. Remember, it was the first time I ever saw someone use an iPad to do a presentation. So she walked on stage, and she had this iPad, and I was excited to listen to Lindsay speak because I knew that she was new in this business just like I was. And here's the important piece. I don't remember anything about that speech. I don't remember what the speech was about. I don't remember what she taught. I don't remember anything about it. Here's what I remember is that she freaking owned it. That she walked up onto that stage, and it was, to me, it was like the day that she crowned herself queen within Beachbody. She walked up there and she delivered this presentation with poise, with like this, with just this confidence and this I'm going to do this thing no matter what. I may not know how I'm going to do it. I may not know how it's going to all work out, but I'm here. I'm not going away, and I'm putting a stake in the ground. And here's the deal, and I remember that, and I don't know if Lindsay remembers it, but I can imagine it was a pivotal point in her business because it was going from okay, I'm getting into this role where I can develop into a leader. And she just put a stake in the ground and ran with it. And here's the deal. And I know that you guys have gotten a lot of this in the group already. Nobody's going to crown you king or queen in this business, right? There's only two ways to become king or queen. Like in the history of the world, you can become king or queen two ways. You either inherit that title, right? Or you go out and you crown yourself king or queen. You go out and you take that title, right? And in this business, I don't care what team you're on. I don't care who your upline is. I don't care if you're on a power leg or this leg or that leg. None of that stuff matters. Not in the long run. What matters in the long run is you've got to take ownership of this. You've got to crown yourself king or queen in this business. You've got to step into that role because nobody's going to do it for you. And here's the beautiful thing. Every single person in this call, every single person in this group, you have the ability to do that. And again, it's not for the 500 something other people. It's for you. Because here's the deal. Jamie and Kim didn't get a different business plan. Melanie didn't get a different business plan. Lindsay didn't get a different business plan, right? It's not like Carl Deichler was like, oh yeah, I see something in her. I'm going to give her the leadership business plan, right? It's not. We all start at the same thing. We all start with 0 customers and 0 coaches. We all start at the same place. It's what we do with it. And here's the deal. So we're talking about, I just want to bring this together for a second. We're talking about how do we actually find people who want to work this business, and then how do we get them to take action? And then I said it's a 3-step process: leading yourself, positioning yourself, and then leading others. So we're talking about this leading ourself piece, and this is what I call real personal development. Leading ourselves, like real personal development. And think about personal development. Here's the deal. When you got started as a coach, when you were a baby coach, reading 10 pages a day and doing that stuff, that's cool. But at some point, you're going to have to grow past that, because real personal development is a combination of those two words: personal and development. You're developing yourself as a human being. Because we all have these lists. We have these lists of things that we're willing to do. Oh, I'll get on this training. I'll post on social media. I'll get on the national wake-up call. Like, the list goes on and on and on and on, right? We all have this list of things that we're willing to do. How many of you guys know Wayne Dyer? I love Wayne Dyer. Wayne Dyer, in one of his books, I think it's Manifest Your Destiny. So he has this saying that it doesn't matter what you're willing to do. He said all of us are willing to do lots of different things in our lives. Like, we want change. Because here's the deal. In order to achieve that success at the highest levels, it's not what we need to do, it's who we need to become, right? And who we need to become, we have to grow. We have to evolve. And what Wayne says is we all have these lists of all these things that we're willing to do. And he said, take that list and throw it away. It's too long. There's too many things on it. There's way too much that you need to focus on. Take that list and throw it away. He said, I want you to make a different list. What's the couple of things that you're not willing to do? He said, there's only a couple. What are those things it's like, no way, that's just way too far out of my comfort zone? That's where we want to focus. That's what's going to make the change in your life. Because here's what we do. We buffer by keeping ourselves busy with all these things that we think are going to lead to us growing in our business, but we need to grow ourselves in order to grow in our business. You're never going to grow your business is never going to grow past your own level of self-esteem, self-worth, how much you love yourself, how much you respect yourself, past your relationship with God, past your relationships just in general, right? What are those couple things? And for each of us, it's different. So leading ourselves is about, I believe that each of us, we have this thing, this energy, this vision, this dream that's implanted in us from God at birth. And what happens is we get all this crap that attaches to us throughout our lives, and we get so far away from that person that we're actually capable of becoming. We get so far away from it. And what I believe that the first half of our life, we accumulate a bunch of crap, and then the second half, hopefully the second half's a lot longer than the first half. Our job is to let go of all that stuff and let that beautiful, bright, shiny man or woman come out. And what we're really talking about, and so many of us are so good at this, right? I'm not, but especially newer coaches, we're so good at taking the great selfie. We're so good at freaking crushing it on social media with the perfect pose, the perfect quote, the perfect this, the perfect that. Here's the sexiest selfie you're ever going to take, and you can do it over and over and over again. The sexiest selfie you're ever going to take is when you stop wallowing in your SHIT and you start walking through it. Because what happens when you get sick and tired of being sick and tired, you get sick and tired of not living up to your full potential. You get sick and tired of running away, of giving up, of quitting, of whatever it is. And we talked about Haley, right? It was so beautiful to watch Haley, because what happened to her is she just got sick and tired of it. And she went from this position of convincing herself that she was doing everything that she needed to do to be successful in this business, to saying, you know what, F that. What's the couple things that I'm not doing? Again, those couple things that Wayne Dyer talked about, right? What are those couple things? And that's what I'm going to do. And that's when everything changed for her. Underneath leading yourself, the reason that what happens, so how do we find people to do this business, right? It starts by leading ourselves. And when we're leading an inspirational life, underline that word, inspirational. Again, Wayne Dyer, inspirational, in spirit, inspirado. That's what the word inspiration derives from. In spirit means that you stop in the mental chatter, and you start living out of the eye of the mind of your heart. You start living out of that place, out of that vision, out of that dream, and then you start walking through your SHIT instead of wallowing in it. And I'm telling you, that's going to be irresistible. That's going to be irresistible, and people are not going to be able to look away from the stuff you're putting on social media or wherever it is that you're sharing out there in the world. The key to recruiting other people isn't like learning the next trick or tip, or like, that's part of it. But that's the easy part. The easy part is learning that the Instagram quirks or the this or the that. The hard part that's going to make the quantum leap in your business is when you start walking and being the woman or the man that you're capable of being. Because other people want to watch that. And here's the only thing that Here's what, you're not selling a business opportunity. You're not selling Beachbody products. You're not selling Shakeology or whatever the next program is. It's you. People are buying you. They're buying your vision. They're buying your story. They're buying where you're going. Right? How do we find people who want to work this business and then get them to take action? The first thing starts with leading yourself. Once you start leading yourself and living that inspiring life, everything's going to fall into place for you. The second step, and I'm not going to spend much time on this because I think that you guys as a team, as a whole, have amazing training on this. But the second step is positioning yourself. If you're leading this inspiring life by gravitating towards the woman or the man that you're capable of becoming, are you sharing that on social media in a way that is positioning you as someone who, A, knows where they're going, and B, can help other people? Just go back and look at your social media. Are you living, does your social media talk about you living an inspiring life? And here's the deal, and I'm going to be really blunt, and this is going to like be a gut punch to a lot of people. A lot of you are portraying on social media that you know where you're going and that you're walking through your SHIT when you're not. And you can't fake that because everybody knows you're faking it. There is no jump to the top. There is no skipping over the hard work. There is, like, you have to be working on yourself. You have to be putting in the hard work in order for other people to follow. Does that make sense? Because all of us want to know, again, okay, I want to be a 15-star diamond, like whatever your goal is. And then it's like, okay, tell me what to do. Okay, you post this on social media, you do this, you do that, you do these things, right? Yeah, but that's the 5% of it. The 95% is you have to be growing into the man or the woman. And then once you are, make sure that all the information that you're putting out there on social media is portraying that. Right? You guys following me with this so far? And then here's the third piece. Okay, so leading ourselves, positioning ourselves, right? Super simple. And the third piece is leading others. And I want you to write down 3 words for the leading others part. The first word is trust. The second word is truth. And then the third word is inspire. Leading others is, to me, it's a combination of those 3 words. And it really starts, like, they're all combined together. So trust comes from me showing up every single day. Trust comes from, like, trust between me and someone I'm mentoring. And here's the deal. As you're growing and as you're growing as a leader, so both from above and below, people are going to mentor those people that are really growing and doing the work. And then you're going to eventually be mentoring the people that are really growing and doing the work. When I'm talking about mentoring here, I'm talking about the mentoring to your real runners, right? So you have to become a real runner yourself, and then the mentoring of the real runners on your team. And I think an enormous part of that is trust. Trust. My word is going to be good. Like, what I say, I'm going to do. I'm going to show up. I'm going to be here next week, next month, next year, and so on. It's going to be ugly. I'm going to mess up. I'm going to say the wrong things. I'm going to do things that, like, with every single one of my leaders, we've had arguments. We've had things, like, we didn't disagree with things about things, but we built enough trust between each other that we could honestly talk things through, and there wasn't any malintent with any of the stuff. We're human. We're going to mess up. There's emotions. There's all of this stuff, but there's a trust. I've got your back. You've got my back, right? So with mentoring people, we have that trust. Once I have that trust, I'm able to speak truth into their lives. So when I'm mentoring somebody and I'm doing the work myself, so again, this all comes back to leading ourselves. I'm doing the work myself. I'm working through my own stuff. I'm shedding layers of self-doubt, of insecurity, of fears, of guilt, of shames, of depressions, whatever, like, it's different for each one of us. I'm doing all that work, right? And then I'm showing up every single day for you. And because I'm doing that work, I have 2 things. A, I'm confident enough in myself, in what I'm doing, that I know how to, I can see the things that are holding you back. And then B, because I'm doing the work, I'm actually emotionally stable enough that I can speak truth into your life. Right? So we want to find people to do this business. And I know this is heavy duty stuff, guys. But I wanted to give you, like, high level, like, this is the package. If I'm leading myself and you trust me, I can speak truth into your life. You may not want to hear it and you may not want to like it, but think about it. Do you want a mentor? Do you want a sponsor? Do you want somebody who's guiding you to tell you what you want to hear, or do you want them to tell you what you need to hear? But if we're not strong enough because we've been, portraying this person, but not really doing the work, we're going to be afraid of what someone's going to think. We're going to be afraid of hurting their feelings. We're going to be afraid of pushing them away. We're going to be afraid that they're going to quit, rather than pushing them to grow into who they're capable of being, right? And then the third piece, like, how do we mentor other people? I think that the number one thing in mentoring others is to inspire them. How do we inspire them? I think it's as simple as us living our best life, like really doing it, doing all the stuff that we just talked about, and then helping them, continuing to talk to them, continuing to visualize them, not where they are, but where they can be. Because here's what Lindsay just put up, coach versus cheerleader, and I think it's so true, and it comes into this piece too. Here's where a lot of us think mentoring others is about. It's like this teaching them, like it's trying to get them to hit Success Club or go for this or do that, and we're trying to get them to do things. I think the number one thing, and I think it's way easier, is if I inspire somebody, I just need to get out of the way, right? So if I'm working with somebody and I'm mentoring somebody and they're struggling and they have these self-doubts and they have these this and they're that, my number one goal is to get them to see themselves, to see the vision, to see the dream, to see what's possible, to see who they can be, not like to see through all the crap that they're in right now into what life can be like. Because once we see what life can be like, then we're like a dog on a bone. We're going to be on this thing. It doesn't matter what I say. Once I get that person inspired, they're going to do way more anyways. They're going to just like run with this thing on their own. Then they get stuck. They come back and, we'll work through things. But I believe the number one goal is inspiring people, and the only way to do that is you have to be living an inspiring life. Because now, once you're living that inspiring life, you create that trust with them, you speak truth into their life, and then in this inspiring piece, like, honestly, what my mentors in this business did for me was two things. Here's the two most important things that my mentors did for me. They loved me, because this is crazy, guys. I was 30 years old before I ever felt real love in my life. How crazy is that? 30 years old before I learned what love felt like. But I had mentors, men in my life, who loved me for who I was, right? They didn't see me as I was. They saw me as I could be. So I had that love, and then they believed in me over and over and over, telling me that I was actually capable of this. They believed in me before I believed in myself. And we started this call with 3 questions. Can I do this? Like a lot of us question that. Can I do this? Is this going to work for me? Am I actually going to be able? All those questions. The question isn't, can you do this? The question is, are you actually willing to do what it takes? Are you willing to put in the work? All the Beachbody stuff should be on autopilot. All the vital behaviors, or whatever we're calling them right now, that should be on autopilot. Sharing the business opportunity. And here's the deal. What we do in this business is we share the products, we share the business opportunity, and we follow up with people, and then we mentor others. That's where all your time needs to be spent. All the other stuff is extra. But every single day you want to be showing up doing those things. The real question isn't, can you do it? The real question is, are you willing to put in that personal work? Are you willing to grow into the person capable of doing it, right? The question no longer is, can I do this? And then answering those 2 questions, how do I find people to work this business? And then how do I get them to take action? Guys, it all comes down to you growing into the person that you're capable of becoming. Success isn't for everybody else. Success isn't for the other 500 something people in this group. You have what it takes. You have to make one decision. Am I actually willing to start putting in the work? Make the decision today. Today, put that old life behind. Put the excuses, put the victim, put those things that you go to for comfort, those things that you go to buffer yourself. Is this going to be uncomfortable? Yes. It's going to be uncomfortable. It's going to be a massive amount of work. But I'm telling you, your life is going to change. Your children's lives are going to change. Your grandchildren's lives are going to change. The people who you coach's lives are going to change. And all that just from you making the decision to live into this life that God put you on this earth to live. Not here. Here. Can't see it. Here, right? In your heart. Live that life. Step into it. All right, guys. I don't even know how much time. Oh, cool. We did it pretty short. I'm going to log off. If anybody has any questions or whatever, feel free to shoot me a message or get in touch. I love you guys. I believe in each and every one of you, and understand what it is that you have. Understand the opportunity, and the only thing that stands in your way is you. All right, guys. Peace.